Hello and welcome back to Erupt. I'm one of your hosts, Yasmin Tanres. It's been a while since I've been here. I've been off on vacation, but I am back now. And we're going down into the nitty gritty today with an incredible guest who I've spoken to before. Thank you so much, Sarah Klein, for joining us as we're going to be talking about R. Kelly's case. He is on trial now. It is taking a very long time for this to happen. So we really want to dive into what has happened and what is happening right now and what could potentially happen as well, and sort of focus on the victims and also the fans a little bit towards the end there. So Sarah Klein has joined us before, as I've mentioned, and she is a civil and trial attorney at Manley Stewart and Finaldi, who focuses on repping victims of sexual abuse under powerful institutions, including school districts, sports federations, entertainment firms, as well as churches, youth organizations, and Fortune 500 companies. She's also a former competitive gymnast and who has also accepted the Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the 2018 ESPY, and on behalf of herself and, of course, hundreds of survivors who spoke out and testified about Olympic women's gymnastics Dr. Larry Nassar's abuse there. So thank you so much for talking to us. I feel like you're going to bring a lot to the table, given that you're a trial attorney when it comes to sexual abuse victims. And of course, following this case of R. Kelly, it's one of those situations where we definitely need to talk about it. How are you feeling?
I love that. You're exactly right. These are not always the most fun conversations to have or to listen to, but I applaud all of your viewers, because if we don't talk about it, it's going to keep happening. And so I love that you guys are doing this story, and I'm excited to dive into it with you today. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Well, thank you. I mean, absolutely. It's one of those things, as you're saying, it is not quite the most comfortable situation, but it's also really interesting. So I'm going to go through the timeline so that everybody gets a little bit of a sense as to what has been happening with R. Kelly's case and what is happening now, because it's one of those things in which had been for years sort of brushed underneath the carpet, and nobody was really reporting about it until 2017, when a journalist started really picking out at some of the things that have happened in the past and then bringing into light. And now finally, R. Kelly is on trial. So R. Kelly, superstar, became an absolute, everybody knows his song, I Believe I Can Fly. Now I really do wonder as to what was in his head there. But he broke into fame back in 1990. He married also R&B singer Aaliyah when she was 18, secretly in a hotel in Chicago. Months later, the marriage got annulled, though, because she was actually underage. She was 15 at the time. R. Kelly did remarry, though, in 1996 with his backing dancer Andrea Lee, and has 3 children. Then in 1997, this is when the first complaints started coming out. And this is what court records show, that were against R. Kelly by Tiffany Hawkins, who had alleged intentional sexual battery and sexual harassment while she was a minor. Then the lawsuit was settled for $250,000. R. Kelly started rising more and more to fame. And then in 2001, Tracy Sampson filed a lawsuit against R. Kelly, alleging their sex was illegal under Illinois law because he was in a position of authority. Then the case was settled out of court in 2002 for an undisclosed amount. Then the Chicago Sun-Times received a 26-minute and 39-second video of R. Kelly having sex with a minor, and it was reported, and police went out to investigate the situation. Then in the summer of 2002, now it seems like R. Kelly summers isn't a great thing because right now is the summer and he is on trial. But back in 2002, in the summer of that year, R. Kelly was charged in Chicago for 21 counts of child pornography stemming from sex tapes, but he pleaded not guilty and was released on a $75,000 bail. Then in 2003, R. Kelly was arrested in Miami